Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
I could do a whole 49ers show right now.
Ready to rock out with my gavel out.
Oh yeah, baby!
Don't sleep on my Patriots,
And we're ready for football. Is that
Joe Burrow with his wrist? I'm curious.
I find you guilty of all charges.
although you assisted force in this
I listed off some really great guys.
DJ Chuck Bass.
This guy has been doing it ever since coming off.
I hope you like the web.
He's made 4 targets in all 3 of his last games.
Scored a touchdown this year.
You know, the great thing about being a football player is you don't have to take a shower to go to work.
There it is.
don't have to take a shower, indeed, especially on Sunday morning. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and you're waking up with TSS Fantasy. You're on mute, Fred, with your yeah and your weak yeah, and you're muted again. You're still muted.
I said, are you muting me? It's like I press it and then it goes back.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, we got a great game today, guys.
Do we?
Unfortunately, not the Jets in Miami or New England. But you know what? Let's go. Let's get excited. The season's gonna come into the playoffs. Let's go.
Yeah, you're supposed to bring the hype, bro. That was the whole point.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Yeah, let's go.
wow?
It's funny how Greg decided not to show up today. I find that to be funny. All right, well, let's get things started. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid. Hit subscribe. Give us a like. Hit the notification bell. And, of course, ask any fantasy lineup questions you like. We are here to answer it. We appreciate that. Also, don't forget, if you're going to play some DFS today, go to Underdog Fantasy, use the promo code TSS. We'll double that deposit up to $100. And, of course, if you're looking for some championship bling, look no further than Pro-Am Belts. Let's get the introduction started. To my left here, it's Mr. Sophistication himself, Angela Duke. Welcome into the studio, sir.
Anyone else ever have to suck on the little hose inside your heating unit to bypass the safety to get it working again? That was my morning, so
Absolutely.
here's to that.
So Duke sucking on hoses early on a Sunday morning. Gotta love it. All right, let's also welcome in Justin Jesus Herrera. Welcome into the studio, sir.
Justin's dead.
I can say I've done a lot of things, but definitely not doing sucking hose on a Sunday morning. That's not in the routine, my friend.
Yeah, something I hope. Thankfully, down here in Florida, we don't have to worry about. Also, welcome in Fred, the Chester Reyes. Welcome in, sir.
Let's go. I'm ready. Fantasy playoffs. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. Fancy playoffs are here. Cap for life. Good morning, my brother. Give me just 2 seconds. We got the doc in, and then we'll answer your flex question here in a second. America's team. I'm going to put a beat down today. Excited about that. All right, let's get it started today, of course, with our own medical expert, Brian Scott. Going to bring us inside the medical tent with our boy Andrew Duke. Take it away, fellas.
A.J. Dillon just went into the medical tent a moment ago.
We are in the medical tent this morning, and luckily for us, it seems like it's a little there's some room in here to move around because we have a lot of guys expected to play, which is good news. Definitely a couple key guys out as we discussed Friday, but we have a lot of expected play. First of all, how did Friday night go? Brian, did you win?
I did.
Good. Okay.
Oh wait. Actually, Friday. You know, I'm in 2 leagues.
Hockey.
I'm in 2 leagues. So I forgot which league I was playing. And I did not get concussed, believe it or not. No, we lost. God damn it, we got shut out. In fact, not happy about it.
That took a big turn from yes, we won to wait, we got shut out. Not sure how that happened. Let's get to the injuries though, and let's first quickly start off with the guys who are expected to play. We touched on some of these guys on Friday, but just to confirm. George Pickens is expected to play. Like I said, I still have my reservations with that hamstring injury on how effective he will be today. but Pickens expected to play. Jacoby Myers expected to play. DeAndre Swift is expected to play, as well as DJ Moore for the Bears. And then probably one of the bigger ones here is Bucky Irving is also expected to play now, so it looks like he's going to be okay. Jake Ferguson as well will be a go for the Cowboys, as well as CeeDee Lamb. So a lot of key pieces there for a lot of teams that are probably, if you have these guys, you're most likely on the cusp of a playoff berth. You're probably fighting for it, so this is big news. A couple guys, though, that we now have definite confirmation are out. And we can talk about these guys. Alexander Madison is not expected to play, not ruled out yet, but our concerns are kind of validated in this news this morning that he's not expected to play. Since we were on Friday, Kenneth Walker officially ruled out. We talked about this. The matchup is great. Zach Charbonnet should be stepping in big here. Do you think this is just a 1 week thing for Kenneth Walker here? It doesn't seem like it's anything too serious. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's a serious injury. Late in the season, they're probably just getting him ready to give him some rest time, let Charbonnet step in, give him that extra week because, buys are gone now. So it's time to prepare for the playoffs.
Well, that's good news because I am a Kenneth Walker owner. He was one of my last trades I made for him to make my playoff run. So I need him in the coming weeks. Zamir White also ruled out, as we mentioned Friday. So that was both Madison and White, if you're following for the Raiders. So that's Amir Abdul looking good to go, as well as Sincere. I always forget the last name, McCormick, I think it was. So, keep an eye out on both of those guys. But one guy I definitely want to talk about this morning, see if you have any information on him, is Ladd McConkey. He's got this hard, questionable tag. Limited practices all week, which is good. It's not the worst sign in the world, but a true game time decision, it seems. Are you reading anything or hearing anything here that we need to be concerned about?
Well, the fact that he's dealing with two separate injuries, one to his knee and one to his shoulder. Apparently, he's got an AC joint sprain and some type of knee injury. True game time decision from multiple reports. So it sounds like this could be a rest week for him. Limited sessions all week, but if you can't suit up with two injuries and get a full practice in, that is a little concerning, especially an upper and a lower body injury. So we might not see him. He could truly be a game time decision, and it could be a no.
Yeah, and that's a game where against the Chiefs tonight on Sunday Night Football. So unfortunately, it is the late game. You got to kind of prepare for that. We can talk about some guys later in the show about rankings and who can maybe step in there. But Quentin Johnson should be in line for a decent game here. And we could talk about Will Dissly as well, maybe jumping in to replace some of those targets. Because I don't see much coming out of Joshua Palmer or Jalen Reagor down the list of the depth chart there. So I'd be looking at Quentin Johnson and Will Dissly to get involved here, because we also talked about that running game being absolutely abysmal this week with that matchup against the Chiefs. Anybody else here big time that you're hearing may or may not play today?
I don't know about big time, but Keon Coleman we've been talking about since week 9. He's dealing with some wrist injury, some mysterious wrist injury, and he was actually limited in practice for the last couple of weeks, but then he's been wearing a non-contact jersey at practice all week. So he's carrying a questionable tag in, but it sounds like he's still not ready to come back. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. It's been kind of a mystery all season. But that non-contact jersey on a Friday practice is definitely alarming. So I would steer clear of him. And then the big news coming out of New York with Breece Hall not practicing and being listed now, downgraded from questionable to doubtful, which means like there's a 25% chance he plays. I've seen some reports, and I don't know if these are true, that he was seen at the orthopedic surgeon's office who reconstructed his knee. So this is something I was saying all along, like you got to be really concerned about. If that's true, definitely concerning. This could be an extended absence for him if that's the case.
Yeah, I did see those same reports, and they seemed to have some validity to them. So that's definitely concerning for Breece Hall managers. And Keon Coleman, just to go back to him real fast, if he does in fact not play, someone to watch that could find the end zone would be Mac Hollins. I know I said on Friday I'm big on Amari Cooper this week, but when Mac Hollins is in the game, they tend to be looking for him in the red zone. So keep an eye on Mac Hollins to maybe get a sneaky touchdown this week if Keon Coleman is out. But I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up here, unless you got any final thoughts before we kick it into another week.
Well, it wouldn't be an injured inside the injured. It wouldn't be inside the medical tent without a mention of Mike Evans. He actually got some limited sessions. It actually sat out and then got a limited session on a Friday and then was actually removed from the injury report. So the lesson here is that when you're dealing with a veteran wide receiver with a chronic injury, this is going to happen from week to week. He's going to sit out a couple practices. He'll get a limited session and then mysteriously he'll be taken off the injury report altogether and at the last minute, and you'll be like, what do I do? Well, in his case, you could probably play him if you need to.
Yeah, it is that time of year, and I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll get into the whole sitting guys who are being rested for the end of the year here. So we'll have some fun stuff to talk about in the coming weeks. But thank you as always, Brian. I'm glad you didn't get hurt on Friday. Sorry you lost, but at least you were wearing that NeuroGuard. We're gonna hear from NeuroGuard right now, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the show.
Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, they need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILP Sports for 10% discount on your purchase.
All right, well, let's get to it. Start with some weather.
It's time for the weather report.
All right, looking at today's weather, kickers and QBs, you don't have to worry about weather impacts in the dome today. Falcons at Vikings, Seahawks at Cardinals, Bills at Rams, and Bengals at Cowboys on Monday night. Don't have to worry about the sun either at the Dallas Stadium. Jags at Titans, 56 degrees. There is a chance of rain in this one, and winds are at 10 miles an hour. Jets visit America's team in America City, 76 degrees. Clear skies, winds at 10 miles an hour. Can't ask for anything better than that. Saints at Giants, 47 degrees. It is clear skies, however, and winds are at 10 miles an hour. Panthers at Eagles, 51 degrees, and there is a chance of rain in this one, and winds are at 10 miles an hour. Browns at the Steelers, 47 degrees, and likely rain in this one. Also, 13-mile-an-hour winds as well, so just keep an eye on that one. Raiders at Bucks, 72 degrees. Partly cloudy, winds are at 3 miles an hour. Bears at the Niners, 63 degrees, clear skies, winds are at 6 miles an hour. And then Chargers at Chiefs, 51 degrees, partly cloudy, and winds up to 10 miles an hour. So a decent weather day, other than a couple of them might want to just keep an eye out for. And God help it if it rains for the Panthers and the Eagles just decide to run all day. That's going to be trouble. All right, let's get moving on with our show today. We got to get to our ultimate DFS lineups, but before we do that, let's get pumped up a little bit. It is Sunday. Got to hit that gym. It's time for Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week.
It's time for Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week.
What's happening, people? It's your boy Bandy back with another episode of Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week. Man, we're going to the playoffs. Are you making the playoffs? Do you got a win and in situation going on? Well, if you do, I got a couple of flex options for you this week to maybe get you to the next level. Let's kick it off right now, man. Starting off, I got a guy, okay? A guy that's kind of been a must start every week, and it's got to be Jacoby Myers, okay? On a terrible team with a terrible quarterback, but just happens to keep remaining fantasy relevant. So throw Jacoby Myers in your flex spot this week. Moving on to the next guy on my list, another terrible team, but the NFL has been buzzing about these guys. Talking about Jerry Jeudy. I'm buzzing about your guy, Jameis Winston. But Jameis Winston's throwing the ball to Jerry Jeudy, man, and your boy's been taking off. So start Jerry Jeudy this week. Moving on to the last guy on my list. This is a guy that's been injured all year, man, but, he's coming back. He's flashing. Got some touchdown upside this week. I'm talking Brandon Cooks. So you could go ahead and cook him into your flex spot this week. Guys, for more fantasy football advice, check out the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast anywhere you get your podcast.
Thank you. I've been working out.
Thank you, Bandy. As always, go check out the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. Good stuff there. All right, well, it's time. Get your wrestling boots on. It's time for our ultimate DFS lineups. Oh, wait, before we get to that, my bad. Cat for Life, sorry about that, my friend. I totally slipped on that. LeDuc, answer this. Flex spot, Disley or Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, I know Bandy just said Brandon Cooks is a good flex spot. I'm going to start Disley here, though, because with the news that McConkey might not play, I like the targets need to go somewhere. And I know Disley put up 0 points last week with only one target. Brutal, I know. But before that, since the bye, he's been averaging 6 targets a game. So if McConkey sits, Disley should be able to step in to have a key piece in this game, a game that they have to have offense because they're going up against the Chiefs. It should be good. So give Disley the start.
Cat for Life, we appreciate you checking in with us as you do every Sunday. And again, appreciate the question. Brandon Cooks had a lot of targets last week. Didn't do much with them. Did get in the end zone, but didn't do a ton. But could be, again, talk about, last week talking about volume. You would think that the Cowboys are going to have to throw in this game if the Bengals put up big points. So he could see some okay stuff. But I agree with you. I like Will Disley in this matchup, so I'm with you on that one. All righty. Well, I was going to go to Ultimate DFS, but our betting expert just stepped in the studio. So let's bring him in. Eric brings us his prop bets of the week.
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
Eric, welcome into the studio, my friend.
Hey, I'm technically challenged. You send me a weird link, and I'm going to be lost in cyberspace. But you got me here. You're a hell of a navigator.
I like Eric's music. That should be din, 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 din,
yeah, I think we extend it to like a 30-second intro.
I like it. All right, my friend. Well, welcome in. What homegrown prop bets do you got for us today?
We got a few here that I'm going to plug in over at Underdog with that promo code TSS. Get myself 100% deposit match. I'm glad we're talking positive about Will Disley. That makes my morning. Gus Edwards could have been better last week, but it's often the one that you're most confident in that falls apart. Getting beat by a 2-point conversion at Foxborough as the clock expires. A drive that was extended by a bullshit PI call. But as you can see, I'm totally over it. We got the under in Houston. Of course, Mike Evans delivered, and the Walker sack got us back to even. We live to fight another day. That day is today. Calvin Ridley, first half, over 29.5 receiving yards. I love a good narrative, and there's no better narrative than revenge. Not even birthdays. Calvin Ridley has a 29% target share since Hopkins left town. He cannot wait to play this game, and most importantly, he's got a Baker-style quarterback in Will Levis who is happy to give him all the targets he needs. If then this narrative holds true, then it's probably early and often. Let's get our 30 yards and be done. Speaking of first half, Saquon Barkley, over 50.5 rushing yards in the first half. He's chasing records, possibly an MVP trophy. And he's got a coach who, as the kids say, understands the assignment. The best route to a huge game is to break a big one early. Saquon does that. I don't want to be sitting here 20 yards short of 130 for the full game, and here comes Kenny Gainwell to close things out. No, first half, in and out. That's what she said. Ray McLeod over 33.5 receiving yards. I was hoping Mooney would log a full practice on Friday and be ready to go, but alas, he did not. Kirk Cousins loves Darnell Mooney, but he's a pretty big fan of Ray as well. 2 straight weeks of 6 targets for him. I had no idea this dude had gotten 6 targets in each of the last 2 games. Today probably makes 3. You throw this dude half a dozen slants, he's going to get you your 34 yards. And then Leonard Floyd over 0.5 sacks. Taking the same principle as last week, don't fix what ain't broken. We have the Bears giving up 4.7 sacks a game on the road as opposed to 2.9 at Soldier Field, and they're in San Francisco this afternoon where Leonard Floyd has 4.5 of his 6.5 sacks this season in his home stadium. All but one of those occurred in games the 49ers lost. The line is down to 3 on this thing. I got a strange feeling the Bears could win this game. Even as a Packer fan, I cannot deny that nail polish has been deadly in the second half. Win or lose, though, Caleb holds on to the ball way too long, and that's how we get our sack. Head over to Underdog, use that code TSS, and this will multiply our funds by 10 just in time for Christmas.
Yes, indeed. Excuse me. Christmas indeed, right around the corner. Double that deposit that Eric said, and go play his prop bets. And by the way, he won't mind a little tip or two if you get a big winner. All right, Eric, where can we find, subscribe, get all your great content when you're not, of course, hanging with us?
You can find me at PSR Host Guy on the Twitter, or PSR The Show is our podcast that we're resurrecting. And I will be down in the Florida for the holidays, so I'm excited about that. Maybe I'll cruise by your neighborhood.
In the Florida.
All good, my friend. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us today, and we're going to get some prop bets going for sure. Appreciate you, my brother, and we're going to send you out as we get ready with our ultimate DFS lineups.
The power of the Ultimate Warrior.
All righty, time for some ultimate DFS lineup. Before we get to that, though, Fred, I'm going to throw this one at you. Turgay Kaglar, thank you so much for your question. Guaranteed playoffs. So he's got a question. Does he drop Fairbairn or whatever the heck, Fairbairn, whatever, and win this week to probably get the second or third, or keep him for the playoffs and lose this one, becoming the 4th spot?
We're talking about the kicker, right?
We are.
Yeah. No, the starting quarterback.
Should he drop the kicker? Should he drop the
kicker
and stream one this week? Or does he keep him just to have him for the playoffs?
I dropped the kicker. You can always replace kickers left and right. I'm going to go for the better seeding. Stay away from that number 1 seed matchup. So that's the way I would play it. So, yeah, I'm definitely dropping the kicker and just substituting him with somebody else and going for that 2nd or 3rd seed.
Yeah, and Fairbairn, I can't even say his damn name. He's been a little off this year. I mean, he was hitting some 50-yarders consistently early, and then he's starting to miss a little bit. So I'm okay dropping him, streaming someone this week. I highly doubt. You have to remember, you're not going to have that big waiver wire push that you would normally have because it's only a few teams left. So I would be okay with dropping the kicker. I'm sure if you really like him, you can pick him up next week. I'm sure it's not going to be that big of a deal. But appreciate your question, my friend. What's up, guys, from Extras? He wants to know Sam Darnold or Russell Wilson, also ETN or Bigsby. Justin, if you're there, you want to take this one?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Sorry, I was putting our stuff on Reddit. My bad.
No, you're good. You want to do it's Sam Darnold or Russell Wilson today was the first part of it.
I think I'm going to go with Sam Darnold on this one. I think Russ cooked really well last week, but that's sometimes an indication that you're not going to do as well this week. I think this week's going to be more of a lean on the run type of game, and maybe we see an old-fashioned 2-touchdown 160 from Russell Wilson. But Sam Darnold, the matchup, I like it against Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. That defense has been very susceptible to the passing game. And then also ETN or Bigsby, we were talking about this on Friday. Who the hell even knows anymore? Like the Jaguars are such a mystery that we didn't want to see on the field, and more importantly, a mystery we didn't want to see on our fantasy rosters. So for this one, I hope they go Bigsby because I hope they start to lean on possibly getting the future in there.
Yeah, no, agreed. And he looked so much better earlier this season. So I don't know. I don't know if he's banged up a little. I'm not sure. I would just kind of, for me, I'd put Bigsby as the primary back, use ETN more as the scat back, third down role, in my estimation. But who knows, like you said, what the hell the Jaguars
You
will
know
do.
what's funny though? I traded for Bigsby and Tyreek Hill right when Tyreek got straight and right when Bigsby went back to being the number 2. I was just like, this motherfucking deal.
That's the way the fantasy cookie crumbles, as they say. Extra says he's projected to lose by 10, but needs a win to make playoffs. Got Saquon going, Cup, Bowers, Juwan Johnson, Jennings, Gus Edwards. His kicker and Lions D already played. One thing I'll just say real quick, my friend, don't worry about projections. It is literally people just guessing. So don't worry about that number at all. You'll sit there and, my son tells me all the time, I'm projected at it'd be 130. He's like, I'm projected to lose. I'm like, bro, you got a long day ahead of you. So just stop. Don't even look at it. I don't even look at my matchups until like 5 or 6 o'clock. That's when I start looking. All right. He also said, unfortunately, he has Flowers, Sutton, and Pittman on a bye this week. So, extras, appreciate your question, my friend. Turgay says, thanks. He also needs a playoff QB from waivers. He had Dak prior. He said, please rank these. So, rank these, LeDuc: Stafford, Richardson, May, Mack, Russell Wilson, and Jameis.
Yes, I'm going to rank them: Stafford, Wilson, May, Jameis, Richardson, Mack.
Nice. I like that order indeed. All right, let's go around the room because our boy, thank you, Turgay, by the way, for your question. Appreciate it. We're going to go around the room on this one. Good morning, Dylan. Appreciate your questions as always. It is game day, and don't worry about the long post. We got you. We'll just go around the room here. He's got full PPR, Fred. Carr, AOC, it looks like, or Rush, or Cooper Rush. You're on mute. You got the mute monster going.
Let me see here. I'm gonna go with Carr. It's just the better matchup, to be honest with you. Oh, my stuff is messed up right now, but I'm gonna go with Carr.
Yeah, Giants D not so good. I'm kind of feeling that too. Cooper Rush, like I mentioned earlier, you may see a bit of volume play if they have to get behind, if the Bengals get up. But I do like Carr this week. I think he's just got the better matchup for sure. Justin, let's go for the tight end. Juwan Jennings, Freiermuth, or Dawson Knox?
You know what? I'm actually going to go with, I know the matchup doesn't really dictate it because Giants are number 2 against the tight end position, but knowing how banged up the Saints are, and Juwan Johnson has slowly gotten really back into that lineup since being injured, I'm going to go with Juwan Johnson in this game. He's always been more of a big slot receiver to me than an actual tight end. So I'm gonna rock with Juwan Johnson. I know Freiermuth has some serious up and down potential with Russ in the lineup, but I'm gonna go with the guy that I think can really get you the points this week.
And I didn't hear if Brian covered it, but if Kincaid's been back, then you're gonna fade Knox anyway. With Juwan Johnson, no Taysom Hill, you expect a decent day. So yeah, I'm feeling you with that. LeDuc, we'll go to you on this one. He needs one receiver, one flex. He's got Akinye, Devonta Smith, and Brandon Allen. So
say his name.
I gotta say it in a second anyway.
So I'm gonna say Smith here. It's so hard to sit Aquino right now, but I'm gonna say Smith. And then in the flex, I am gonna say Braylon Allen, just because I think the matchup is the one way you can attack this Dolphins defense right now. So with Hall out, it's got to be Allen there. But God, it's so hard to sit Aquino. But Smith and Allen.
All right, and then let's finish it up. Back to Fred. You got a kicker question: Reichert, Bass, Dicker, or York?
Let's go with that one.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a Dicker by his toe.
You can't really predict kickers, man.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Kickers are very up and down. I probably actually, it's funny you said that, LeDuc, because that's probably the kicker that for me I'd probably go with was Dicker. in this. And this one's outdoors, but I feel like, maybe somebody to keep for the playoff run. I like my kickers indoors, quite frankly. So that'd be somebody I'd be looking for. Dylan, appreciate your questions, my friend. Thank you extra. Justin, back to you for the Dynasty dumpster fire. I know I feel like that sometimes. Start 2 between Hubbard, Braylon Allen, and BTJ. He's got half PPR. And I believe LeDuc headed out, so have a good Sunday, my friend.
I think I'm gonna be a contrarian here, and I think I'm gonna go Braylon Allen, and I think I'm gonna go with Hubbard's been so good, but they're just finally starting to get that kid they drafted in there.
Allen Brooks,
so so it's kind of been tough. Braylon Allen having the full load today, I have no problem with that. I think I'm gonna go BTJ, especially in half PPR. Yeah.
BTJ, it is. Hubbard last week, I had him for my ultimate DFS, and unfortunately, he did nada last week, where we're about to show you. And
that
like
was
we
against
talked
a good matchup. This is not even like a great matchup for him.
Right. And we talked about that on Friday, how Jonathan Brooks all of a sudden is taking all those receptions away from Hubbard. So especially in PPR formats, he's starting to fade a little bit. I agree with you there. I like that. Cat for Life thought that was funny. Dynasty dumpster fire. Thank you so much for your questions. We appreciate it. Turgay says people don't care about his kickers, but Boswell's won 5 games for him this season. I feel you, bro. I think what Fred's trying to say, though, it's just hard to predict that. It's hard to say, his kicker is going to be a definite, unless they're on one of those rocking offenses that are always at least scoring. That's somebody I'd go to, but it's really hard to predict how well a kicker is going to do. He had to get ready for work. Extras, appreciate you. Enjoy your day, my friend. We appreciate you joining us this morning. All right, let's get to these ultimate DFS lineups. Excuse me. I'll go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off and show you what I did last week, because I was the jobster for real. I didn't even break 100 last week. It was disgusting. Like I said, look at Chuba Hubbard. 2.3 damn points. I'm talking, literally, I was talking about him when I made this prediction, and I'm like, Chuba Hubbard, ain't nobody more consistent than Chuba Hubbard. This is why we do this show, because, what the hell do I know? Marvin Harrison Jr. was my only, saving grace this week, and Pat Freiermuth had that juicy Bengals matchup. Tank Dell, we're officially done. I'm just letting you know now, I'm never picking you again. I am never going to have you on any of my fantasy rosters. You suck. So let's get it for me this week. Go ahead and knock me out, because I am out of here. All right, let's go to show. We'll show Greg's. He was the next guy above me, 115.4. Not too shabby. He also kind of did the same lineup almost as me, or about pretty similar. But what really hurt him was that 40 going -4. I don't think I've seen a negative on our ultimate DFS right now. So,
do you notice that since I talked to Greg about picking the Niners, they've been losing every week. That's bad luck. Ask Greg.
Bad. Oh, see, now you're just throwing your visiting shade at him. I see. Justin was the next guy. Very good. The top 3 were really close. Just want to say 139.9. Really good day. Probably the biggest thing that hurt you was Hawkinson, only with 5.9. Kevin really didn't show up either. But other than that, had some big days from Irving, Mixon, Evans as well. So got to say I like that. And let's see who our winner was, because our runner-up, our Intercontinental Champion, Freddie, it's not you, unfortunately. You were close, but not close enough. I know. When I was doing the points, I was like, no. It's because you know what that means. But let's just look at this real quick. I think Otten hurt you a little, Patriots D, Addison, but other than that, big money winners. With Irving, Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, got a nice stack with that. And McBride, you've been slaying it with him. So great job. So that means that LeDuc is our that is 6 damn winners for LeDuc. Man, we're going to be in trouble. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch him. Let's give it to him.
And his name is John C.
I mean, this guy is killing it right now. Again, but all three of you guys had great days. Leduc, unfortunately, showed out. Unfortunately for us, is what I'm saying. Let's look at his lineup for this week, and I guess I'll just say, pay attention. Kirk Cousins this week. Isaiah Guerindo's got a decent matchup and a good buy this week. Good value is the word I'm looking for. And you guys were really trying to test the limits of my text boxes, because I think all of you had at least one or two of the double last name guys. I mean, it's all over our lineups this week. Westbrook Akinye, we got Smith Nigjibasi. This is what I'm talking about, Justin. I didn't want to have to pronounce these damn names in the morning. All right, let's go real quick to Fred. I'm sorry, you're up next. We had a question in here. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Let's go to Fred's lineup real quick. Talk about your ultimate DFS lineup.
I've just been trying to go for the stacks weekly. Picked a quarterback that I think is gonna do the best. So yes, I went with Kyler Murray McBride combo. I just thought that was the best combo for me this week, especially playing at home against Seattle. I went 2 tight ends. I think that's what we've been doing. Me and Justin had talked about it before, so I added Bowers for 6,500. I think Bowers and McBride are going to get me a lot of points. As they spoke earlier, McLeod has been actually killing it lately, doing really well. So I thought for 4,500 that was awesome. And Evans scoring big. I went with Scantling just because he's been boom or bust. I think he booms this week. I think he gets a good touchdown in there, so I'm looking for double-digit points from him. I went a little bit cheaper with the running backs. Obviously, Pollard is playing in Jacksonville, playing against Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. And Rico Dowdle, lately he's been posting up points, I guess 2 out of the last 3 weeks, because he's been the main focal point of the offense. So I took Dowdle this week. And of course, the Jaguars, I don't care if they're bad. Tennessee is bad as well. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars defense will hold them, at least keep the game close.
Well, yeah, the Jags suck, but their D has actually been stepping up a lot. So it's not a bad play. Titans struggle a little bit on offense. So not a bad play for sure. All right, Justin, talk about your ultimate DFS lineup. And you're on mute, just FYI.
Yeah, mute monster got me again. Yeah, this week the trend is not only the hyphenated names, but the hate for the 49ers in this one, coming from a 49er fan. I think it's going to be a big game for the Bears. They're turning over a new corner, got a new coaching staff. Their offensive coordinator has steered them in the right direction so far. So that's where Caleb Williams at 5,600, still a value for me. He's got 5 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. He is really starting to heat up, and this defense, if you look at a lot of the injuries, it's disgusting. We have like 6 different major injuries at each level. And it's like literally we've got our starting safety, our starting corner, we've got one of our best linebackers, we've got freaking Nick Bosa on our defensive tackle. It's just disgusting. I think the Bears, unfortunately, are going to walk all over us today. My high value guy is Alvin Kamara. This just kind of feels like the type of year, like where Alvin Kamara, like the time of year, right? It's always around Christmas time, around fantasy playoffs, where he pulls off this rocket ship game, and he makes you really fall in love with him again and go, you know what, I want to draft him again. So, believe it or not, I think Alvin Kamara is due for his 50-point game of the season, and I'm hoping it is this week. And I can see by some of your guys' lineups, you're hoping it is too. Tony Pollard is my next guy up. Jacksonville Jaguars defense, we were just talking about it. It's just Jacksonville Jaguars as an organization. It's just a shit show. They should be sold to London for half the pound on the penny, however you want to describe that, and just get them out of the States. They're a disgrace. Get the Tony Khan family out of the States. He's a disgrace too. And just move on. At my flex spot, I got DeAndre Swift. Once again, the hate continues, but this defensive line against opposing running backs has just been absolutely shaky and horrendous. And I just want to start buying into it instead of believing the hopium. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, my first hyphenated gentleman. I I mean, it's playing the Giants, and Giants are beat up. Giants are trying to tank, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, whether you like it or not, he is like Nick Westbrook-Ukina. He's just going up there and catching these 20-yard bombs for touchdowns. I mean, last week he had put up 11 points. I was looking through it. I was just like, okay, 11 points. What did he do? 40 yards and a touchdown. I was like, okay. I think that's like 3 straight games for him with a touchdown since he's come back. So love him. Nick Westbrook-Ukina. Say his name, Nick Westbrook-Ukina. Still at 4,700. Kind of a disgrace. He's kind of like college football's best receiver right now. He's catching 20 passes, and almost every other pass he's catching is a touchdown. He could catch 2 touchdowns on 3 passes last week. I love that. I'm gonna put that in my lineup every single time. DJ Moore, the hate doesn't just discontinue here. We still got one more to go, but I think DJ Moore against this kind of really in shambles secondary is going to absolutely eat with Caleb Williams. He had 16 targets last week. That is not to be have an eye batted at. This guy is really starting to pick it up steam, and I think he's going to really start to give a playoff push. And Coop, I think that your team is going to really enjoy it if you're still in playoffs. The Scott Fish Bowl, it's going to really enjoy this roller coaster of DJ Moore. And then finally, I got Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is almost guaranteed 10 targets a game. This secondary, this whole defense is not very good for the Bucs, and the Bears defense against the 49ers. I'm sorry to say this. This is where I absolutely finish it off here. I think Brock Purdy's going to have himself a bad game against this team. This offensive line is already beat to shit. We will not have our left guard, our all-pro heavyweight Hall of Famer left tackle is also not there. It's a shit show. And I think the Bears are going to stamp that out.
Wow. Like he really went all in on his poor little
dude.
Jeez,
what happened? You sound like a Jets fan right now. Good Jesus.
Mode over here.
Bro, I'm spending way too much time around loser.
He might have checked himself into the psych ward this morning. Jeez, oh please. All right, let's show Greg's lineup real quick. Like Sam Darnold in the matchup against the Falcons today, stacked him with Justin Jefferson. And again, hyphenated names is the theme of the day. Smith Nigjib. I'm JSN. And you know what? Since we can say JSN, let's just say NWI is the other one. Kyron Williams in the flex, which I like, which I'll show you here in a second. So yeah, Bucky Irving still riding that Bucky Irving train, and why the hell not? All right, let's look at my ultimate DFS lineups. Going with Baker Mayfield today, the Raiders, 25th against fantasy QBs. Gotta like that, 6,400, good play there. I like your boy Garendo today. Chicago is pretty soft on the, I know your offensive line's hurting, but so is the defensive line for the Bears. They've been hurting all year, 22nd against fantasy running backs, so that's a good play there. Jace Brown against Dallas. We know Dallas likes to give up whatever, so they're 25th against fantasy running backs. Gotta like that. That's why I went with T. Higgins as well. They're also 25th against fantasy receivers, so I'm bound to get something out of one of these two guys. Darnell Mooney against Minnesota. Again, Minnesota dead last against fantasy QBs, or excuse me, against fantasy receivers. So I like the matchup. You know how much Cousins like Mooney, and I think he's going to shine out today. NWI versus Jacksonville, 30th against fantasy receivers, and he is the new Chris Carter of the NFL. All he does is catch touchdowns. Got to expect that today. Cade Otton with Mike Evans even just a little banged up. I don't think it would matter because the Raiders are 30th against fantasy tight ends. So this is a good play today, 4,400, good value. I also went with Kyron Williams. Been saying it all year. Buffalo, soft up front. They are 30th. I mean, we're in week 14, and they're 30th against fantasy running backs. That's definitely a trend. I like it. And I went the opposite way of you, Justin. I don't have as much hate with your 49ers today. Caleb Williams likes to give up the rock. I think the 49ers will make some plays today in the secondary, so I'm feeling it with that.
Coop, -4.
Well, that's why I feel like they'd have a...
That's a bold move.
That's why I feel like they're going to snap back this week. I think I like it. All right, before we get to our picks, played it on Friday, but, you know, for the goes that didn't get to see it on Friday, our boy LeDuc puts in a little sophisticated starts for each week. We'll go ahead and play it right now. Before we get to our picks, if you're looking for some sophisticated starts, LeDuc's got you covered. Let's check it out.
Oh la la! Oh, welcome to another fuck, it's cold.
Damn, that's a cold ass honky.
Contractually obligated. Shit. Okay. Classy starts then, since I'm contractually obligated to do this even in the cold. David Njoku. Let's start David Njoku, because David Njoku has a really classy matchup against Cincinnati, same division. He's got 17 targets last week, which was outrageous, so even if he gets half of that, he's going to hit your production for you. And then another guy that we can look at is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is the entire Saints offense. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to hand it off to him. If he can get in the end zone, which he should be able to, he's got a good matchup there. He's going to hit your ceiling for you easily. And another guy you want to talk about is the entire offense. Not the entire offense, but when it comes to the passing game, JSN in Seattle, you got to like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Going to continue to get those targets, continue to get that production. He should be the best option in that passing game for Seattle going forward in this week specifically. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, David Njoku, Alvin Kamara, classy as fuck this weekend. I'm cold as fuck, so deuces.
Damn, that's a cold ass honky.
If he were to punch you in the face, you would have to fight off the strong urge to thank him.
All right, let's get to our picks of that cold ass honky.
We're on a mission, guys. We're on a mission, guys.
I kind of wish Greg was here this morning because he deserves a bit of congratulations for last week. 15-1. Wowza. Last week, LeDuc, not so bad. The two guys that are absent, not too shabby last week. Me and Fred ended up at 12-4, and boy, Justin fading down the stretch here. Look at the overall. We got two dunces in the back. Wow. Fred and Justin hanging out with each other. LeDuc got a little bit closer to me now. At 129, and look at the juice right behind Andrew making a late season run. Ooh, we gotta love that indeed. Before we get to the picks, Fred, I'm already in here. So what do you think? Jonnu Smith, the tight end this week, and he's got starting Hurts or Tua. I don't know if that was a question on the tight end, but I'd definitely go Jonnu. They're definitely using him as the third tight end. What do you think? Hurts or Tua? This is good for the Jets fan.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a question, but Jonnu, I think he's been killing it lately, so you got to keep starting him as much as possible. Let's see here. We got the Tua versus the Jets, and then you got Phillies playing who?
Carolina.
Carolina. Damn. Both are great starts, to be honest with you. There's no Sauce Gardner for the Jets, so that just weakens our defense even further. I mean, honestly, you're good with any start, man, any single one. And they both playing at home. Let's go with Tua because
I'm good with Tua, not just because he's with America's team, the Miami Dolphins, but if you're going to have Jonnu at your tight end, that's a good little stack to have, quite frankly.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's why I'd play it, and I kind of feel like there's more of a chance that the Jets will score to keep the Dolphins scoring than the Panthers scoring on the other side.
Carolina's been playing okay lately.
They have, but they haven't seen the defense quite like the Eagles, and that's why I think that's the biggest difference in that. And he was thinking the same, the double action with Tua. Yeah, so I like that stack, actually. So that's what I'd ride with. And like I said, I think the Jets are more inclined to keep this a game versus the Panthers keeping it a game with the Eagles. So that would just be mine. I think this is going to see a big Saquon day, quite frankly. So that's where I'd go. All right, let's go to our picks of the day. We're going to start out with a great matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Titans. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my. Thank you, the Book of Linebacker. We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much. All right, so Tennessee leads the series 35-24. They split last year. Tennessee won 28-20, and Jacksonville won 34-14. Tennessee's favored by 3. The over-under is 40. Fred, who wins and why?
Tennessee, they're just a better team. Jacksonville's in a state of array.
Agreed. And we're just not going to waste no time on this. Hammer that puppy down. We all like the Titans in this one. Jacksonville getting ready to pack up for New England. Not New England, England. I guess. I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville right now. So, yeah, we all like the Jacksonville Jaguars in this matchup. Let's go to the next one. The Raiders visit the Buccaneers, battle the Pirates today. Raiders lead the series 7-4. Last time they played was in 2020. The Bucs won 45-20. Bucs are favored by 6.5, and the over/under is 47. Justin, who wins and why?
I'm gonna go with the Bucs. Grittier team. They're actually at the top of their division. This means something to them. I think it's gonna be a close game because I think Aiden O'Connell and Brock Bowers are gonna make it a close game. But I think the Bucs got a little bit more to them.
Put the hammer down on this one too. We all like the Bucs here. Raiders may have a little bit of game in them. Bucs have been beat up. We know defensively they just been beat up by everybody anyway. But you know, again, there might be a little. It might be a little bit of a better game than people are anticipating because the defense is so bad. But I still like the Bucs to win it overall. All right, let's go to one that's very interesting. The revenge game of the year. The Falcons go to the Vikings. Minnesota leads the series 21-12. Last time they played was last year. Actually, Minnesota won 31-28. They won 5 out of the last 6 between the Falcons. Minnesota's favored by 6, and the over/under is 45.5. So, Fred, what say you? Who wins and why?
I'm gonna go with Minnesota. They're at home. They're just an all-around better squad. I like Atlanta, but I don't think they win today, to be honest with you. I'm going to go Minnesota. They're very impressive right now at 10-2.
Justin, what say you?
You know what? I went with Atlanta in this one. I think it was more or less because I needed to try and pull away and get some wins. But, you know, I do like the Falcons. I think they can keep up with them offensively. But I really do think they need to lean on Bijan in this offense and stuff, like making Kirk Cousins throw 30 to 40 times a game. He's just not that efficient anymore. And that it's really age is showing on him right now because his arm looks cooked. And I think they might need to start thinking about Penix in the coming days or the coming weeks if they don't win this game.
Well, get on the Kirk Cousins roller coaster is what I say. I think he's going to have a great game today. Going back to Minnesota. I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Falcons, although it might be a kiss of death the way you're sitting in our standings right now. But me and you going with the Falcons right now.
It's split down the middle. It's either me or Fred. So you're 50-50 right now. It's a coin flip.
We got another question, Justin. We'll go to you. Charbonnet or JSN today? Nah, I can't pronounce that handle. My bad. XNCJGJ.
Well, I'll tell you what, XGen. If you're going with PPR, I'd go with JSN. If it's anything half or standard, I'd go with Charbonnet.
I like it. We got one other one here, Fred, from Gerard. He's got PPR. He wants to know Judy, Ridley, or James Conner today.
I think I'm going to go with, if it was up to me today, I would start Jerry Judy. I like the way he's been playing lately. I've seen that he's been getting a lot more targets with the quarterback. So I think Conner runs the ball more instead of passes. So I'm definitely I will go with Judy. I don't know about you.
What do you think, Justin? You agree with that?
Yeah, you know what? I have this weird itch that's telling me Calvin Ridley is going to go off in a revenge game. And I don't know. Like, I like Judy. But I saw what he did last week, and I'm like, I don't know if he's going to do that against the Steelers. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to put on that type of a show against the Steelers. For me, it's Ridley because, like I said, I just got this weird itch that's telling me. I've been putting Ridley in my DFS lineups like crazy because I'm like, man, this seems like the game Ridley goes, fuck you guys, I really was worth it. You should have gave me the money.
Yeah, agreed. I think we forgot revenge game here for Calvin Ridley, and also Jacksonville not good against fantasy receivers. So I'm with you on this. I like Ridley as well on that matchup. All right, thank you so much, Gerard, for your question. We appreciate you. Speaking of Mr. Judy, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh leads the series 84-61-1. We know they just played a couple weeks ago. Browns won 24-19. They've actually won 2 in a row in the series. Pittsburgh is favored by 6.5, and the over/under is 43.5. So, Justin, what say you? Who wins and why?
I got the Steelers in this one. I think the Steelers come back, they get their win back, and they get right back on track, and hopefully winning the AFC North. Because what a surprise that would be, right? The Ravens are now looking like Mr. Softy on defense, and the Steelers are looking like the best overall team in the North.
They really are. Could go ahead and put that hammer down for our Pennsylvania friends in Pittsburgh. We like the Steelers. All right, let's go to a really epic matchup. The Panthers at the Eagles. Eagles lead the series 8-5. Last time they played was in 2021. Eagles won 21-18. Eagles are favored by 13.5, and the over-under is 45.5. So, Fred, who you like and why?
You gotta go with the Eagles. They're just playing awesome right now. Carolina's getting better, but not good enough to beat the Eagles at home. It's not happening.
Mary Jane liked to point it out that you guys were not on the Eagles train at all this year, but you better get on it and hit the hammer down, especially today. Eagles make this an easy game. Big Saquon day today, going after those records. And I mentioned on Friday, no MVP ever from the Philadelphia Eagles, so you can expect them to want to bring one home to Philadelphia. All right, let's go to the next one. The Saints at the Giants. Giants lead the series 17-15. Last time they played was in 2023. The Saints won 24-6. New Orleans favored by 5.5, and the over-under is 41. Justin, who wins and why?
Are we hammering this down, Fred?
We are not. That's why I went back to you first.
Saints.
So, Fred, let's hear why. Let's hear why it's not the Saints.
Well, you always get to the game towards the end of the year that you're playing for what do you call it, draft positioning. You just type to mess it up. Giants mess it up today. They win a little squeaker at home. I think Locke is the quarterback. It like I said, it's at home, and it's not like the New Orleans Saints are like overly impressive. So the Giants pull it off today.
Wow,
the Dunce pick of the week.
So So Justin, I know you guys were tied there at the bottom, but it looks like Fred's going to give you some room here. Now that Wolf for this matchup, he likes the Giants. I couldn't believe when I was reading that. Lucas Wow is in. Justin, we'll go to you for this one. Wants to know Baker or Jones today? It's two good options.
Yeah, I think those are both great options on this one. I have a feeling that Baker, the Bake Show, is going to be back this week. He's another guy I've put in my DFS lineups. Well, you might not want to follow me on DFS, but if you check the records. But, I really do think Bake comes out with this one. I actually put him also in DraftKings Sportsbook for 3 touchdowns. I'm feeling like it's going to be a big Bake Show day.
Yeah, I agree. I like Baker. I like Sam Darnold, though, too. I think either way, you can't go wrong. But I think I'd ride the Baker hand today for sure. All right, let's go on to the epic matchup of the day. The stinky, disgusting Jets are here in Miami to visit America's team, the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins 60-56-1 all time against the Jets. Last year, Jets got swept 34-13 and 30-0. They've won 3 in a row, and actually we've won 7 out of the last 8. Miami's favored by 6. The over-under is 44.5. Fred, tell us why your stinky team may win today.
Because they both stink. To be honest, you got 2 bad teams playing each other. You know what? Because the Jets always mess up their draft positioning too. They do it every freaking year. They win that one stupid game that they shouldn't win, and this is that game. Without Breece Hall, without Sauce Gardner, hey, maybe Braden Allen does well. We'll see.
Justin, tell this fool what time it is, please.
Fred, they already won that game. It was called the Patriots. But serious talk, though, I got one league where I got seeding is very important and trying to get that top 2. I'm playing Jonnu Smith. I'm playing Tyreek Hill. I'm playing my man Tua this week, all in that one league because it's going to be a slaughter.
You already know what I say. America's team is going to dominate those Jets today. I can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers and his 4 picks coming to Miami
I
today.
thought I was lone whiffing it, man. I didn't think the former Jets fan Greg was gonna pick the Jets.
Well, I think it's funny because he didn't pick him last week, and I thought to myself, I bet he did that because he didn't want to hear me talk shit as soon as I saw if he go to Miami. So yeah, I think that was more of a he didn't want to hear it thing than anything else. All right, we got a couple of Lucas the Wise got another question here. What do you think, Justin? Rashad White, Najee Harris, Jawan Jennings, or Devonta Smith? He needs 2 of them.
Wow, that's really good. I think I'll definitely go with Rashad White because they've really mixed in those guys very well. And Rashad White has become really good pass catcher in this offense from the running back position. And then, I might teeter in between Jawan Jennings, Devonta Smith, just because Najee Harris has been going into healthy splits with Warren. And, I kind of, I think I'm going to go with Jennings. I think Jennings is going to have himself a good game. As far as they need it. They need somebody on that offense to function. Even if they're down, I think Jawan Jennings can be that functioning offense. And if you listen to Friday's show, you already know how I feel about Devonta Smith. Hamstrings are a tough injury.
They are. It's a good matchup, but like I mentioned earlier, you can expect the Eagles to be up and quickly, and you think, for me, I just think it's going to be a big more Saquon day today. Fred, we got another one here from Carson Jordan. He's got Tyrone Tracy, Braylon Allen, Garendo, and Brian Thomas. He wants to know if he should play all 3 RBs with 1 in the flex or 2 RBs with Brian Thomas Jr. So would you take any of those running backs out, basically, is what he's asking.
See, I'm pretty biased right now because I just picked both New York teams to win. So that's never good. And I know nothing about Garendo, to be totally honest with you. I know he's a rookie. I mean, he's getting thrusted into that starting role today. I'm playing Allen, I'm playing Tracy, and I'm playing Brian Thomas Jr.
Garendo's played, listen, any 49er, they really show out in the backfield. So, and I like this matchup today too. So, I mentioned earlier, the Bears pretty soft against the run. Braylon Allen, Miami's been their Achilles heel's been the run. The Saints, that would be the only one I'd question is Tyrone Tracy, to be honest. So I would go Allen, Garendo, and Brian Thomas Jr., especially if you're in PPR as well. I didn't see if you mentioned that. But
so basically, you're not starting all 3 running backs, neither one of us.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. All right, let's go on to, I think Justin had to take off. Let's finish things up with our 4 o'clock ones, which isn't much. This is like your nap time. Seahawks at the Cardinals. Seahawks lead the series 28-22-1. They played just a couple weeks ago in what we thought was going to be a great fantasy game. Ended up being a Seahawks 16-6. They won 6 in a row in these matchups. Arizona is favored by 3, and the over/under is 44.5. What say you guys? Or excuse me, who wins and why?
I'm gonna go with Arizona. I just think they're playing for more right now. I mean, it's just I'm actually been pretty impressed with Arizona this year and especially with Trey McBride. So I think they tie up the division with Seattle today, and I think Arizona pulls it off.
I picked them last time, and I'm going to pick them again. I do agree with you. I think Arizona is a little bit of a better team. We went over the stats on Friday. They are very evenly matched and ranked, other than the tight end position. Seahawks give a bunch up in the tight end position where the Cardinals do not, although that might have been a little after effect of playing against Trey McBride against the Seahawks. So I'm still riding with the Cardinals. I like them this week as well. And LeDuc and Greg are going with the Seahawks. All right, let's go. The next one, Buffalo at LA Rams. Bills lead the series 9-5. Last time we played was in 2022. Buffalo won 31-10. They won 3 in a row in the series. Buffalo is favored by 3.5. Over/unders 49.5. Who you like?
Gotta go Buffalo, man. The way they're playing lately, they're just out of this world. They've been playing, boy.
Yeah, Bills have, I want to say, one of the hottest teams. They've been hot all year, quite frankly, winning when they need to. So we're going to hammer down the Bills, although I do want to caveat and say Rams are one of those helter-skelter teams too. Never know, playing at home could give these guys a little bit of fits, but I do like Kyren Williams a lot in the matchup fantasy-wise, but I think the Bills overall just the better team. All right, let's go to the Bears at the Niners. Oh, that's why Justin took off. 49ers lead the series 35-33-1. Last time they played was in 2022. Chicago won 19-10. 49ers favored by 3, over under 43.5. Who wins and why?
I'm still going to take the 49ers. They're at home. They're at home. So, and you know, they still should be the better team. So I'm going to ride with them one more week. Bears are 4-8. 49ers are 5-7, but they can still win the division.
Hammer it down. Justin talked a lot of smack, but didn't go with the Bears this week. We all like the Niners. Just think they're a better overall team. I hopefully think they start to show it a little in this matchup. So we all go Niners there. All right, let's go the Chargers at the Chiefs in the Sunday Night Delight. KC 58-1 all time against the Chargers. Played back in September. KC won 17-10. They won 6 in a row against the Chargers. KC's favored by 4, and the over-under is 43. Who wins this and why?
I mean, it's going to be a great game. 8-4 Chargers, KC 11-1. Absolutely good game today. I'm going with the Chiefs. They're at home. It's tough to play at home. They're flying from the West Coast. Got to go to the Chiefs.
I like the Chiefs as well, just because, like I said, they just that team I keep doubting. They just keep freaking winning. So I'm going to go with them. But luckily, Justin's here and give us the opposite side of this. Why do you like the Chargers here? You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, I like the Chargers because, you know, last time we're worried about this Ladd McConkey injury. Ladd McConkey's been injured for like 5 straight weeks. Like, trust me, as somebody who's had him, he's had a questionable tag for 5 straight weeks. I think he's going to be fine. This team pushed them to their limits last time. And I think the Chiefs are slowly unwinding as far as the defense goes. Like, there's no reason for you to let Carolina almost put 30 points on you. There's no reason for you to do that. If you're defending Super Bowl champions, you shouldn't be letting anybody do that to you. I think this is a game where, you know, it's not going to be hugely detrimental to them, but it's kind of going to be a learning experience. I think that Harbaugh's going to get his W back, and I think that they're going to kind of go out there and show the Chiefs that they can't just get by on defense and hope that Patrick Mahomes is going to hit his spot every time, because actually, believe it or not, he's not been hitting his spot frequently this year. He has been interception city. I think he still holds the NFL leading record for interceptions this year. So,
well, yep, I believe you're correct. Yep. So I just want to hear that opposite view. You and LeDuc both like the Chargers, riding with the Chiefs and the rest of the crew. All right, we got a question since we're already here on you. Mobbin wanted to know, and thank you so much for checking in with us this morning. Appreciate you coming in, waking up with us, my brother. With Neighbors being limited, if he does suit up, who should he replace at flex here? Devonta Adams, Tyrone Tracy, or Amari Cooper? I was asking you, Justin.
Yeah. I was thinking about it because I was just like, Devontae, Amari Cooper. I mean, I think a lot of people have been on Amari Cooper, but I don't really like the play. He hasn't played up to the standards that I would hold Malik Neighbors up to. So that's kind of my thing. If I can't put somebody in who's of equal value or I think could be of equal value, I'm not going to play him there. Devontae is going to be target city this week against the Dolphins, so I probably will just go with him just based off the hope that he gets somewhere near ballpark of 50 to 100 and a touchdown, even in a loss.
I'm going to agree with you, and also because, like I've said it once, I'll say it again. Traditionally, Miami struggles against big receivers, so I feel like, you know, this could be a good Devonta Adams day. As I mentioned before, I think there will be some scoring back and forth in the Dolphins-Jets game, so I think I like that as well. We got another one here from Carson. Wanted to know, Fred, Kyler or Justin Herbert today?
You know what? I'm not gonna go against Kansas City. They're 11-1. People are talking about their defense going down a little bit. I'm gonna go Kyler Murray. Like I said earlier, he needs it more. They're playing at home. I'm going Kyler, man.
All right, I like it. I think I'd go Kyler as well in there. Let's go to you, Justin. Mobbin's got another one here. He's got it's one full PPR. Pick one of these guys: Tyreek, DJ Moore, Tracy Mooney, or Keenan Allen.
Man, you're only picking one? God damn.
No, damn.
That's a good list to pick from. Shoot. You know what? No Sauce Gardner. I think I might go with Tyreek. If it's not Tyreek, it's a close second with DJ Moore.
I like it. No, I think we lost Fred. And we're just losing everybody this morning for a little bit anyway. Yeah, I'm going Tyreek, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about. Let's go Tyreek with no sauce. I'm with you. Mama's got one other one in here. Stafford or Caleb today?
You already know my answer. Caleb Williams, baby.
Matt Stafford could get some volume. I mentioned before just getting volume play for like Cooper Rush, something like that. But, Matt Stafford could have an okay day. The Bills are definitely going to put up some points. But I feel like they could get it more in the running game.
Low-key been playing, sorry to cut you off, Bills have low-key been playing very fundamental defense. And if you could just get the Rams off the field, that could serve us in many different ways because it could mean Stafford has to throw more. But at the end of the day, this offense runs through Kyler Williams. And if, Stafford goes into pick heavy, I think Caleb's just a better option, honestly.
I love being served in many different ways. Momin, we appreciate you. He said he's picking one because his dumbass started Jaden Reed on Thursday. God, I'm so sorry. What a disappointment that was, especially going into the last week of the playoffs, my friend. So, wow. Jaden Reed, big disappointment on Thursday. But I wouldn't call you dumbass. I'd have played him too, so no stress there, bro. All right, let's finish it up with the Monday Nighter. Unfortunately, Fred's not here for this because I want to hear his analysis here because he's got Cincinnati at Dallas. Dallas leads the series 10-4. Last time they played was in 2022. The Cowboys won 20-17. They won 5 in a row. Bengals are favored by 5.5, and the over/under is 53. So who do you say wins and why?
So Micah Parsons came out this week and said he wants to have Mike McCarthy back. So I'm going to go that as the kiss of death for this win streak that they're on. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Like, what's going on when Mike McCarthy's back there. But anyways, the Bengals have been so close, and I feel like most of my losses have been because of the Bengals. As far as our weekly lineup, L's and W's and L's, I feel like for the most part, man, they've been so close. They've been so close to beating some of the best teams in the league. Now you play not really the best team in the league at all. So I'm going to go straight up and say this. If the Bengals don't win this week, I am not picking on the rest of the season.
They're almost the opposite of KC this year. Always in those games, and you think they should win, and then just for some reason find a way to lose it. So, but there's that one Fred on. Fred went with the lone wolf on this one this week, so let's howl it up for him. Yes, like the Cowboys are going to do enough on Monday night. I mean, again, we just talked about it. Bengals always find a way to lose. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they did, but, Dallas has been reeling, and I love the Bengals offense, so I just don't see how they pull this out over the Cowboys on Monday night at all. Yep, Cafferlight agrees that Joe Burrow should have a good night. He is a smash start for me, no doubt about it.
Most MVP level with a 4-7 record or the 4-8 record.
Exactly, 100%. All right, well, if you've been sticking with us on this lovely morning, you probably missed church, but that's okay because we got church here for you. Fantasy Jesus is here. He's here to bless your DFS lineups. Let's check it out.
I'm here to save your fantasy rosters.
Good morning, TSS family. This is your Fantasy Jesus here to give you 5 picks for week 14. Man, where is the season gone? But you know what? It's time to make some money. It's time to make you some holy money today. Let's get it kicked off with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, since losing his shitty offense coordinator, Shane Waldron, has thrown 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and has a completion percentage over 60%, which is better than most of his season so far. Look for him this week to go against a decimated 49ers team. Almost brought me to a tear. Decimated 49ers defense. And look for him to have a really nice game this week. Then we go to our running back position, Alvin Kamara. I love this play because every year Alvin Kamara gives you one of those big games. this week against the Giants, and a must-win for them to remain in the race for the division title. I like Alvin Kamara to put the gas pedal to the metal, all gas, no brakes. Let's go 50-point game. Let's go Alvin Kamara. And then we got DJ Moore. We're pairing him up with Caleb Williams in this one. 2 touchdowns and over 30 targets in the last 3 games. Amazing numbers. Those are numbers you drafted DJ Moore for. And this week, you're going to want to draft him again on your DFS lineups. Put him back in the lineup. He deserves it. Brock Bowers, talk about a guy who deserves it. Guy's going to be tight end number 1 by the end of the season and probably tight end number 1 for the next 5 years. Look out for Brock Bowers this week against the 7th worst defense against the tight end position in the Buccaneers, as the Raiders try to make this one a good game against an old John Gruden rival. And then finally, we got the Bears defense. This 49ers team is just slowly crumbling. No Trent Williams, no Christian McCaffrey, no Jordan Mason, no shot in hell. Look for this Bears defense to get the best of the 49ers. And that's 5 DFS picks for your Week 14 lineups. May your lineups be blessed.
I'm not sure who to start this week. Trust in your savior.
No Christian McCaffrey, no Trent Williams, no shot in hell, he says. Gotta love it. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys waking up with us. Thank you so much for your lineup questions. As always, you can always check us out on Friday where we'll break down Week 15, getting into your playoff mode indeed. And also wake up with us next Sunday morning. We appreciate all of you. If you have any further lineup questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media. We go to TSS Fantasy, and if you want to say your handle, Justin, I forget it, Sex Mexi or something.
Yeah, it's all good. It's SemtexMex93, Twitter. Hit me up. I'll give you all the advice you need. I'll give you bad jokes. I'll give you horrible rants on the 49ers. I'll give you it all. It's like a buffet of shit that you never even wanted.
If you're a 49, if you're wanting to commence in the misery of the Niners, Justin's your guy. All right, we appreciate you guys. Send us out any questions if you got during the day. We appreciate all of you. Good luck getting to your fantasy playoffs, and we are out.